Okay, everyone is back, right? So we'll start. So we'll start with international relations. See, as far as international relations is concerned, it is an important topic for prelims as well as mains point of view. In prelims point of view, you should know the important places in news, very important. It comes under your geography, but it is linked to your international relations. That is important. Apart from that, India-USA relations if it was in news, India-Russia relations if it was in news, Russia-Ukraine relation was in news, then Poland relation was in news. In that, only important topics, 10 topics that I have taken that we will be discussing. So, international relations, you will be having a separate session in AAA program. So, current affairs point of view, we will be discussing international relations in a brief manner. So, first is note here Russia-Ukraine relations. Okay, Russia-Ukraine relations. See, I will just tell the background. You know what happened to Russia and Ukraine past years. Russia has annexed Crimea, that is the start of all the issues. And in Russia-Ukraine relations, it is important in mains point of view that you can expect a question, that is Russia-Ukraine relation has impacted a large scale, it has turned the world around, discuss. That kind of questions can be expected in mains point of view. In prelims point of view, you should know two process, okay. One is Minsk, M-I-N-S-K, Minsk process. These are the peace processes associated with Russia-Ukraine relations. Minsk process, okay. There was Minsk 1 and Minsk 2. You don't have to know the details. Minsk 1 and Minsk 2, prelims point of view, you should know. Two peace processes associated with Russia-Ukraine relations. Where is Minsk? Belarus. Very good. It is in Belarus. Minsk is in Belarus. Okay. Apart from that, you should know the geographical location of Crimea, Russia, Ukraine, etc. So, here we have Sea of Azov, okay, here we have Sea of Azov, here is a strait, there is one strait there, do you know, it is not in the map, it is known as Kerch Strait, okay, it is not in the map, Kerch, okay, Kerch Strait, it is not in the map, and see, here if you consider, we have Black Sea, so all those countries surrounding the Black Sea you should know, and countries surrounding Sea of Azov you should know, and the neighbors of Ukraine you should know, and the important cities in Ukraine like Odessa, Donetsk, Kiev, Sevastopol, Voronezh, all these places you should know, because questions can be expected. In identify the correctly matched pair stuffs, questions can be expected. For example, where is this Sevastopol? They will give you hyphen, and important places in Afghanistan is also important due to the Afghan issue. So, here important aspect you should focus here is two processes, Minsk 1 and Minsk 2. Two processes are failures only, but important, and apart from that, Strait of Kerch, Kerch Strait is there in Sea of Azov, that area, there is one strait called as Kerch Strait, and important countries surrounding Black Sea, important countries surrounding Ukraine, Russia, all these are important, because that was in news for the past 1 year. Russia-Ukraine relation is a hot topic, right? So, questions can be expected, and all other aspects in Russia-Ukraine relations is out of prelims point of view, it is mostly asked in mains point of view. So, that we will discuss later. So, here important straits, all the important straits are important, where is Bering Strait, where is Strait of Malacca, all the straits are important, it can be asked in prelims point of view in match the following manner, and in that Kerch Strait if comes, you should note that it is in Sea of Azov, it is connecting Sea of Azov with Black Sea. In geography angle, but it is current affairs. Fine. Moving on to the next topic, again important, India-China relations. So, India-China relations is an evergreen topic, I would say, evergreen topic, and you should know earlier last year one question was there, where is the location of Aksachin? Okay, that question was there. If you look at the previous question paper, you might have found that question. North of Nubra Valley, east of POK, west of Nubra Valley, like that questions was asked. It is north of Nubra Valley. So, position of Aksai Chin is important. Then important Siachen Glacier is important. And see, there are so many passes, Natula Pass, Shipkila Pass, it comes under your geography faculty may take the class. All the important passes out there in the borders is important. And apart from that, McMahon line is there in the eastern sector, that is also important. See, with which country we are having the maximum international border? Bangladesh, yes, it is Bangladesh, it is not China, okay. It seems like China, but it is not so. The Bangladesh border is very much curved, so Bangladesh, okay, that you should know. Apart from that, the states which are sharing borders with China is important in geography aspect. All these are geography connected current affairs you should know, and in China perspective important bilateral exercises with China is important. For example hand in hand is an exercise between India and China. Similarly few exercises are there. I will share the list of all the important bilateral exercises in one material. Exercises part I don't have to teach you, right? You can just read and find out the exercise. So that I will share the material, bilateral material. With this material I will share it that also, so that you can study the exercise also. For example Mitra Shakti was in use between which all countries? Yes. Then exercise Equivalent Maldives. Okay. Similar exercises was there. So exercises can be asked. Yuddhabhyas USA. Okay, USA. Mongolian elephant? Mongolia. Okay, so it is a rubbish question. I would say. See, it is nomadic elephant. Okay, nomadic elephant. It is between Mongolia. Fine, my mistake. So that is with respect to India-China relation. The mains point of view, don't have to study anything. Mostly map related questions can be expected. Apart from that, bilateral exercises is important. I will share the bilateral exercises of all the material together, so that it will be convenient for each bilateral exercise. If explaining, it may take a lot of time. Next is Transatlantic Alliance. Okay, Transatlantic Alliance. So the US President Joe Biden, in his first address to the annual Munich Security Conference, there was this conference held in Munich. Where is Munich? Germany. Munich is in Germany. Okay. Declared that the Trans-Alliance is back and stressed the need to defend democracy around the world. So the Transatlantic Alliance has been the cornerstone of post-World War II world order. It is the foundation on which collective security and shared prosperity the USA and the Europe are built. Okay. Transatlantic. See, Atlantic Ocean is there. Transatlantic linkage. Here we have USA. Here we have Europe. You got it right? No, nothing is working. See, this is North America, this is South America, this is what? Atlantic Ocean. Here we have Europe, here we have Africa. So, Transatlantic Alliance, okay, that is the logic. So, that is with respect to Transatlantic Alliance. And significance, it will boost multilateralism, it will development of EU-USA carbon border adjustment mechanism, it helps in averting most catastrophic impacts of climate change, etc. See, here I would like to explain. Whenever you hear the term international relations, you should focus on what? You should focus on international organizations. Okay, very important, international organization. Whenever you hear the term international organization, what comes to your mind first? United Nations Organization or UNO. So, important bodies of UNO like General Assembly, United Nations Security Council, ECOSOC, Trusteeship Council, Secretariat, International Court of Justice, the basics of all these are important. Okay. For example, I will just brief it. General Assembly, all the members are members, all universal membership. UNSC, 5 permanent members and non-permanent members, 10 non-permanent members. ECOSOC, 54 members. Then Trusteeship Council, it is now not working, it was dispersed in the year 1994. Then we have Secretariat, we have Secretary General there. Who is the Secretary General? Antonio Guterres, okay, and Portugal, Antonio Guterres, and we have ICJ also, International Court of Justice. So you should know, these are the basics of international relations, you should know that. Apart from that, you have to study some regional organization that was in use. For example, ASEAN was in use. SARC was in use, SCO was in use, then if you consider BIMSTEC was in use. See, all the international organization in which India is a member, you should study that. Okay, whether India is a member or not, that is the crux they will ask you. Okay, for example, there are codes for all these things. For example, SARC nations. SARC nation, there is a code called as MBBS Spain. If you Google it, you will find it everything clear. MBBS Spain. Okay, what stands for M? Maldives, it is not Myanmar. Myanmar is a part of ASEAN. Okay, very important, you may get it confused. B for Bhutan, Burma, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, Nepal. See, if you find it in YouTube and all, you will get the code names for all the regional organizations. And apart from that, you should know about UNO also. Very, very important. That is, I am not covering it. It is the basics. Okay, it is the basics. You should know it well. And what all bodies are called as Bretton Woods twins? IMF and World Bank. Very good. Okay. So basic tech terms also you should know. Very important. And next is Senkaku Island dispute. See, Senkaku Island is in south of South China Sea, sorry, north of South China Sea. And if you consider it, the Senkaku Islands is a disputed island between China and Taiwan. But now it is under the control of Japan. You got it? So it is a disputed island between China and Taiwan, Senkaku Islands, but it is controlled by Japan. See here, the yellow line, it is the Japan line, and disputed line is red line. Okay, existing Japanese thing is there, new Chinese thing is there. See, it is a trilateral dispute is happening, but it is said that China and Taiwan is claiming that. Now it is controlled by Japan, that's it. Dispute is between all the three. Fine. Senkaku Islands, the location is important, that's it, location is important. Moving on further, we have South China Sea also, South China Sea disputes. You know why the importance of South China Sea? Because the Strait of Malacca, straight away it is carrying the trade to the South China Sea area, and all the ASEAN countries in the sense means those countries surrounding the South China Sea is claiming the South China Sea. Okay, and what is the issue here is China is saying that traditionally it is linked to their trade aspects and all, it is owned by China. And see here we have Paracel Islands and Spratly Islands there. Okay, Paracel Islands and Spratly Islands is there, and this is known as the Tunk. Okay, Tunk, it is similar to Tunk, right? Tunk area, and you should know the location of all the countries there. For example, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei is there, Philippines is there. All the countries are claiming stakes for this Paracel and Spratly Islands. So the islands location is important, that is why I have given the picture. High chances for asking for the past 2-3 years it is in the news. Okay, important islands. See, as I said earlier, similar to important straits, important islands can also be asked. For example, Spratly Islands, hyphen, they will give it as South China Sea. Some other island in some states, okay, they will give that name and they will give the ocean where it is. For example, Hawaii. Like that, identify the correctly matched pair questions can be expected. So that is the significance. Moving on further, see, policy of neutrality. Which country? Policy of neutrality? Switzerland. Okay. Recently, Switzerland ambassador said that its traditional foreign policy of neutrality, which is known as Swiss neutrality, has become attractive again because of the changing reality in the world. Policy of neutrality. So it is a foreign policy position wherein a state intends to remain neutral in future wars. Okay, see, due to this Russia-Ukraine issues and all, it has again come up, policy of neutrality. It is proposed by which country? Switzerland. This policy is self-imposed, permanent and armed, designed to ensure external security and promotes peace. So a sovereign state that reserves the right to become belligerent if attacked by a party to the war is a condition of armed neutrality. So it is a policy of neutrality. Just keep in mind, it is a policy of neutrality. It is by Switzerland. See, you know about non-alignment movement? Yes. Panchasheel? Yes. All these are important. Okay. Basics of international relations, very, very important. Moving on further, IPSA. What is IPSA? India, Brazil, South Africa dialogue. India, Brazil, South Africa. IPSA. So recently, India recognized IPSA Tourism Ministers virtual meeting. So keep in mind that IPSA does not have headquarters or permanent executive secretariat. Very important. Statement wise questions can be asked. It does not have a headquarters or a permanent executive secretariat. Very, very important. And the principal norms and values underpinning IPSA dialogue forum are participatory democracy, respect for human rights and rule of law. It is in mains angle, but anyhow you should note that it does not have a headquarters. Sometimes they will give you some place. Okay, for example, it headquartered in Delhi or something. They will give some country's headquarter name and they will ask like that. Keep in mind that it does not have a headquarters or a permanent executive secretariat. Fine, clear, IPSA. Moving on further, Project Dantak. I hope the pronunciation is correct, Dantak. Okay. Recently, Project Dantak, see, it is one of the oldest projects of BRO, Border Road Organization, and commemorated its Diamond Jubilee. What is Diamond Jubilee? 60 years, 60. Diamond Jubilee means 60 years. Okay. So it was a result of the visionary leadership of third king of Bhutan and the then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. Dantak was tasked to construct the pioneering motorable roads. See, border road organization is, what is their purpose? They will construct roads, infrastructure in border areas. So it is a project executed so that construction of Paro Airport, Yonpula Airfield, Thimphu Highway, all these are constructed by this project Dantak. And it is carried out through whom? Border Research Organization. Very important. Border Roads Organization. And the medical and education facilities established by Dantak in far-flung areas were often the first in those locations. Okay, Project Dantak, BRO. It is an old project, okay, during the Jawaharlal Nehru regime. Okay, fine, right? Able to follow me? Okay. Is it boring or like interesting only? Okay, next is BAO Forum, or like BOA Forum or like BAO Forum. The opening ceremony of BOA Forum of Asia, that is BFA, annual conference was recently held in Bao. It is South China's Hainan province. Okay, so where is Bao? Let us see, places are important. Okay, places, identify the correctly matched pair stuffs. Important places can be asked. Very, very important, because for the last 2-3 years, if you consider, that kind of questions are asked by the UPSC. So you should note that. And similarly, it is a non-profit international organization founded in the year 2001. It is modeled after World Economic Forum held annually in Davos, Switzerland, also called as Davos of the East. Okay, Davos of the East, this BAO Forum. See, regarding the objectives, to promote regional economic integration in Asia, to bring Asian countries even closer to their developmental goals, to strengthen mutual understanding in the post-pandemic era, create additional incentives for overall socio-economic growth, a world in change, join hands to strengthen global governance and advance Belt and Road cooperation. See, nowadays, last year, sports related questions was asked in UPSC. 2 questions from sports. Similarly, important days kind of questions can also be asked. Okay, less chances. For example, I am taking classes for UPSC NDA examination. In NDA perspective, important days are very significant, because they will get a question from important day, any of the important day, and they will ask the theme of that year also. You get me? That kind of questions can be expected. So here also theme, we will normally skip themes, right? Skip themes and days. For example, World Wetland Day. Okay, I think it is in February 5th. I am not sure, February 2nd or 5th. So what is the theme of this year also you should look into, because that kind of questions are asked by UPSC, NDA, CDS examination. That pattern can be repeated in UPSC. Very important angle. Similar to last year, sports questions was unexpectedly asked, right? Similarly, that kind of questions, too much factual questions now UPSC is asking. General factual questions, I would say, that kind of questions you should know. And in science perspective, I would say, last year they asked about lemongrass. Okay, what is the purpose of lemongrass? See, in Malayalam, lemongrass is called as pulthailam. You may be knowing pulthailam. It is used in floor washing, bathroom cleaning and all. So statement, direct question, what is the purpose of lemongrass? What is it is used for? For cosmetics, like that question come. So similarly, if you find something in your washroom, toilets or the name, it is very important, okay. In ads and all, maybe sometimes they will give some names and all. Very important, that kind of daily life science questions are also asked by UPSC. It comes under current affairs only. Lemongrass was in news, in current affairs, that is why they asked, but normally we used to skip that kind of areas. But you should focus on that also. Okay, I just thought of it now, that is why I shared it with you. Moving on further, Atlantic Charter. Okay, Atlantic Charter. See, I have selected few topics from our first edition of current affairs compilation. The second edition will be soon released, so that I will take important topics from that also. And we have to deal polity, economics, then environment topics as well. That also will be discussed in the next class. Okay, so this plus art and culture we will stop. This topic plus art and culture. And why is in news Atlantic Charter? The US President and UK's Prime Minister signed a new version of the 80-year-old Atlantic Charter. It is an effort to stake out grand mission for global relationships in the 21st century. It focuses on climate change and the need to protect biodiversity. Atlantic Charter. It is a statement of principle, a promise that the UK and US would meet the challenge of their age together. So Atlantic Charter, it is between whom? US and UK. Okay, US and UK. Keep in mind it is between USA and UK. See, just the basics will do. In prelims point of view, see, the logic is simple. You have the options, you know the question. Just eliminate, try to eliminate the basic, with basic idea, try to eliminate and arrive at the answer. So that you don't have to mug up, you have to conceptualize. Very important. You have to conceptualize the important topics and make sure that some exercises need to be by hearted. That also by logic you will get it right. Okay. So, you need to conceptualize the topic. If for example, transatlantic alliance, which all countries, as I have drawn here, it is between USA and the Europe. So, it is a transatlantic, Atlantic Ocean is the transatlantic alliance. So, by conceptualization you will get the options correct. Okay. So, that is the logic here, that is with respect to Atlantic Charter. So, that is all with respect to international relations. See, I have briefed a bit like just a part of international relations, and one thing is really important is UNO. Okay. General Assembly, United Nations Security Council, ECOSOC, Trusteeship Council, Secretariat, ICJ. And another important aspect is, I will just mention a code. See, whenever you study an international organization or a regional organization, you should focus on members, objective, recent conference held, headquarters. You can take it as MOCH strategy. Okay. Whenever you study a regional organization, for example, SARC, members, who are all members, MBBS Spain, the code. What is the objective? To promote socio-economic cooperation, harmony in South Asia. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Recent conference, if it is held, where it was held, and headquarters. Where is the headquarters of SARC? Kathmandu, Nepal. So, it was formed in Dhaka, Bangladesh, but headquarters is Kathmandu, Nepal. Similarly, you have to study ASEAN. There are codes, IPSA, BRICS. BRICS and all, you don't have to study the members because the name itself has the members. Whether India is a SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, yes. Pakistan is a member, yes, yes. So, the basics, whether India is a member kind of question, they will ask you. They will give 2-3 statement. In that one statement will be India is a member, India is not a member. So, that kind of questions can be expected. So, you have to make it right. So, that is the logic. And next is art and culture. See, art and culture you can expect around 2 to 3 questions. That too very direct, not direct I would say. Questions will be factual only. And in art and culture part, what all things you should focus is, first of all, art and architecture is important. Second is Bhakti Sufi movement, important. Then religions, very important. Okay. In art and culture, prelims part, I will be discussing only the current affairs point of view. In current affairs part, I will be discussing only the prelims point of view. So, what is important is art and architecture you should know, cultural aspect you should know. Then what you should know is reform movements, that is Bhakti Sufi movement. Apart from that, religions. Religions are very, very important. It is static. So, your respective faculty will take that class. Here we will be discussing important current affairs aspects of art and culture. So, first topic, okay. This comes under Mughal architecture. The topic comes under Mughal architecture, Humayun tomb. Okay. See, you should know the names of the Mughal rulers in order. That is important. See, Humayun tomb, it won't be built by Humayun, right? It is built by his son Akbar. So, that is important. And recently, Archaeological Survey of India notified that all centrally protected monuments and museums across the countries, including Humayun tomb, will reopen for visitors. So, that is why it is in news. It is known as the dormitory of the Mughals. Okay. It is known as the dormitory of the Mughals. It is a fine specimen of great Mughal architecture built in 1570. So, the year is 1570. It is the first garden tomb on the Indian subcontinent. First garden tomb. Tomb or tomb, okay, tomb, it is often tomb, the exact pronunciation is tomb. So, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1993, that is also important. Humayun's tomb, okay, Humayun's tomb, very important. It was the first garden tomb. So, last year and all, this monuments kind of questions they will ask you. For example, they can ask questions about Taj Mahal, they can ask about Qutub Minar, important monuments they can ask you. It uses white marble, it uses red sandstone, like that. The features also you should study. That is the basics of art and culture that you can study by yourself, or like the classes will be given. And next is Tholavira. Okay, Tholavira. What is Dholavira? Importance of Dholavira? IVC site. It is an IVC site. Recently, it has been added as the 40th World Heritage Site from India. 40th. Okay, 40th World Heritage Site from India. So, Harappan city of Dholavira in Gujarat. See, Harappan civilization it is. See, whenever you study the places of IVC civilization, you should study the rivers associated with it. Okay, very, very important. Important rivers nearer to the place is very important. For example, Dholavira, it is the first site of the ancient Indus Valley civilization to be included in the list. See, it is the first list, okay, first one to be added into the list. It is the fifth largest metropolis of Indus Valley civilization. It is the Harappan city with remarkable and well preserved urban settlements in South Asia. So, in terms of urban planning, instruments, techniques, water management, all it is important. And two seasonal streams are important here, Mansar in north and Manhar in south. Two important streams. Okay, Mansar in north and Manhar in the south. Important. Okay. Harappa is in surrounded by which river? Harappa? Ravi. Very good. Ravi. Okay. Similarly, all rivers you should know. And the importance, what all things were excavated from the respective place also you should know. Okay. From Mohenjo-daro, from Harappa, where was the great tank, all those things you should know. Great bath, okay, that all things you should know, very important. So, here with respect to Dholavira, art and culture, static portions you have to be well thorough with, and connected to Dholavira, they won't be asking Dholavira as such, they will be asking about IVC sites, got me, and the present location also. IVC site, the present state in which it is found. Similarly, if you consider Mahajanapadas, Kashi, Mahajanapadas, Magadha is there, the present location kind of thing also can be asked in your examination. These are all static part, but in current affairs aspect, Dholavira is in use, that is why I have explained you Dholavira. Correct, fine, right? Moving on further, Gavi Gangadeshwara temple, where is it? Gavi Gangadeshwara temple? Karnataka, okay, Karnataka, like name Ganga is there, so it will be a bit confusing. It is in Karnataka, Gavi Gangadeshwara temple. See, the overclouded sky impacted the annual phenomenon called Surya Manjana in Gavi Gangadeshwara temple. The phenomenon and all is not important. It is known as Gavipuram cave temple. Okay, it is known as Gavipuram cave temple. It is an example of Indian rock cut architecture. It is dedicated to Shiva and cut into monolithic stone. Monolithic means what? Single stone. Single stone. So, Gavi Gangadeshwara temple is in Karnataka. Very important and not yet finished. See, architectural features is important. It is built in Vijayanagara style. Vijayanagara style means which kingdom? Vijayanagara kingdom. Who is the important ruler? Krishna Devaraya. Okay. Another important features of this Vijayanagar architecture. Two important aspects are there. Have you heard about Raya Gopuram? Okay. Kalyana Mandapam. Okay. Similar to that. So, here it is built in Vijayanagara style. It has unique celestial oriented rock architecture due to which Surya Manjana occurs in Sankranti. So, that phenomenon is not important. In the fourth court stand two monolithic structures named Suryapana and Chandrapana. See, questions can be expected like Suryapana and Chandrapana is associated with which temple? In prelims point of view, questions can be expected in such a way that Suryapana and Chandrapana each consisting of massive disk is found in which temple? Okay. Gavi Gangadeshwara temple which is in Karnataka. So, associated with the iconography of Shiva, there is a Trishul, there is a Damaru and a two-headed drum, that is Damaru is there. In between the two discs, there is a brass Dvajastamba, not so important. All these are features of Lord Shiva, okay, not so important. You should keep in mind that it is architecture is similar to Vijayanagara architecture, place is Karnataka, monolithic it is, and important, very important aspect is Suryapana and Chandrapana. Okay, they won't ask it directly, indirectly they will ask you. Okay. Similarly, great living Chola temples you should know. Important temples in World Heritage Site list you should know. All these are basics not related to current affairs, that is why I am not discussing, but I am giving you the hints so that you should study all those portions. Okay. Next is Yakshagana. What is Yakshagana? Which state? Again Karnataka. Again Karnataka. Over 900 Yakshagana scripts were digitized through voluntary community efforts. It is a temple art form of Karnataka. It is a temple art form of Karnataka. It combines dance, music, dialogue, costume, makeup and stage techniques with a unique style and form. It depicts mythological stories and Puranas also. You know, Ekshagana. If you, like, I haven't added the picture, sorry for that. So it is performed with massive headgears, elaborate facial makeup and vibrant costumes, ornaments and all. Ekshagana. I hope you know the picture. Okay. I forgot to add, by the way. And it is influenced by Vaishnava Bhakti movement. Okay, Vaishnava, Shaivism and Vaishnavism, Bhakti Sufi movement you may be knowing. And in Bhakti Sufi movement, important personalities and associated states also you should know. For example, Tukaram is from Maharashtra. Okay. Similarly, important personalities and the respective places also you should know. Okay, very, very important. And next is, its stories are mainly drawn from Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata and other Hindu epics. Instruments used is Chenda, Maddalam, Jagada, Chengila. See, all these can be asked, okay. This art and culture area is quite unpredictable. They will sometimes ask you very direct factual questions. They sometimes may ask you very tough questions. For example, folk dances and the respective states. That kind of questions can be expected. Puppetry, they will give the names of the puppetry and respective states. It is a higher end question because we have to by heart it, okay. But not by hearting, conceptualize the respective area and try to remember it. That is the logic, and you use code or something to study this area. Very important. Art and culture, you will get only 2-3 questions, but 2-3 questions, one is from religion for sure. One will be from religion for sure. Most probably Buddhism, Jainism, or like we have Vaisheshika system, you know, Hindu philosophical systems. That kind of questions can be expected. Apart from that, current affairs may be linked to the respective static portions. So, static portions you should be thorough about so that it can be linked to current affairs. Okay, very important. Moving on further, we have Jagannath temple. Where is Jagannath temple? Odisha. Okay, it is in Odisha. Very important. So, recently a historic decision was made so that Odisha state cabinet has approved amendments to Sri Jagannath temple Act of 1954. It is also known as Yamanika Tirtha or White Pagoda. Okay, Yamanika. Yamanika Tirtha or White Pagoda. It is not so visible. Fine. It is also known as Yamanika Tirtha or White Pagoda. Okay, Yamanika Tirtha or White Pagoda. And it was constructed in the 12th century by King Anandavarman Choda Ganga Deva of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. Where was Eastern Ganga dynasty? Odisha, that Bengal area. Okay, Eastern Ganga dynasty. And it is one of the Chardham pilgrim sites. Badrinath, Dwaraka, Puri, Rameshwaram, all these are the respective places also you should know. Okay. And the Neela Chakra. Neela Chakra means what? Blue wheel. Perched on the top of the temple is made of 8 metals called as Ashtadattu. See, you won't get direct questions here. They will ask you blue wheel. They will give clues. Okay. Do you know trivia quizzes? See, in trivia quizzes, they will give the clues so that you have to find the respective thing or the answer from that. They will give you like, it is an important temple in northeastern India, like eastern India, and it is one of the Chardham pilgrimage site. It has got a Neela Chakra or blue wheel. Identify the temple. That kind of question is called as trivia quizzes. Mostly in geography, climate and all, you will get that kind of questions. They will tell you it has got high rainfall. It lies between these and those areas, important trees are so and so. From that you have to identify the respective climate. For example, it may be equatorial climate, then monsoon climate. Like that, this trivia quizzes kind of questions can be expected. So, here that kind of questions, for example, Gavi Gangadeshwara temple also, that kind of questions can be expected. They will give some clues so that we have to find out the temple. We will have the options, from options we have to find out the temple. So, Jagannath temple is important. It is known as White Pagoda. Okay, White Pagoda, that is important. It was constructed in the 12th century by King Anandavarman. Okay, Anandavarman, important, East Ganga dynasty. It is one of the Chardham pilgrimage sites. Clear? See, art and culture is very factual. You can read it by yourself alone. So, see, architecture, Oriya style of architecture. See, it is not well pronounced in our syllabus, Oriya style of architecture. You should know about what all architecture? Nagara, Dravida kind of Dravidian architecture, Vesara. Okay. Nagara architecture is propounded by whom? Guptas, started during Guptas. Dravidian, Cholas. Vesara, Chalukyas. should know the basics, okay, all these architectural features and all, you should know the basics. Oriya style of temple architecture is important with respect to whom? This temple, Jagannatha temple, and it is surrounded by a high fortified wall known as Meghanada Pacheri. Meghanada Pacheri. Another wall known as Kurma Bheda. Kurma, maybe the Varaha Avatara. Jagannatha temple is related to Vishnu, okay. Kurma Avatara maybe. Bheda surrounds the main temple, Kurma Avatara. Okay, so that is with respect to Jagannatha temple. Moving on further, we have Monshugu, okay. See, Monpa handmade paper is known as Monshugu. Monpa handmade paper is known as Monshugu. It is from the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Very important, it is from the state of Arunachal Pradesh. It has been received by the Khadi and Villages Industries Commission. KVIC, which ministry? MSME. Very good, Ministry of MSME. And it is an integral part of local custom and culture in Tawang area in Arunachal Pradesh. What is the peculiarity of Tawang region in Arunachal Pradesh? It is a Buddhist region, okay, fine. The Monpa handmade paper is made from the bark of a local tree called as Shugu Shenk, okay. What is the significance? It is used for writing Buddhist scriptures and hymns in monasteries. Very important, Monshugu. See, these kind of questions can be expected because these are quite technical terms, right? Technical or like bit confusing terms. So, these kind of questions can be expected, okay. Fine, right? What happened? Water. You need water? Oh, fine. Okay. See, next is, as I said earlier, Pavakuthu. Puppetry is important. Tol Pavakuthu is again important. Which state Tol Pavakuthu? Kerala. Our own state, Kerala. So, recently a shadow leather puppet. So, what kind of puppet it is? Shadow leather puppet. In Kerala's famous temple art, Tol Pavakuthu has been animated by a robot. Okay, it is done by a robot. Normally, who does it? People, like humans does it, but now it is done by animated by a robot. So that is why it is in the news. Tol Pavakuthu or shadow puppetry is a temple art form in Kerala regions. It is also known as what? Nijalkuthu or Olakuthu. Nijalkuthu or Olakuthu. Okay, Nijalkuthu or Olakuthu. It is a fine example of integration of Aryan and Dravidian cultures. The narrative used for the performance is a mixture of prose and poetry called as Attapaattu. Okay, Attapaattu. They will ask you Attapaattu is associated with what? Similarly, regarding the classical dances you should know, okay, Kathakali, Bharatanatyam, Mohiniyattam, Odissi, Manipuri, all those classical dances you should know. Important questions can be come from that. That all are static topics not related to current affairs. In important puppetries also you should study. See, I will share the list of all these things, okay. This is in news, but associated with that important puppetry can be asked. I think it is in this, what is your book called as? Nitin Singhania. It is in Nitin Singhania, I guess so. So, that will do, okay. So, that is with respect to Tol Pavakuthu. Okay, shadow puppetry. It uses leather, okay, leather. Okay, it is based on Kamba Ramayana. See, who wrote Kamba Ramayana? Kamban. Okay, he is from where? Tamil Nadu. Okay, and instrument Ezhupura, Chenda and Maddalam. Okay, the Chenda. Ezhupara, Chenda and Maddalam. Okay. Moving on further. Let me check how many. Okay. Next is Kumbh Mela. You might be knowing very well about Kumbh Mela. So, the sender has written to the Uttarakhand government about the need for stringent measures to control the spread of COVID-19. It is said to be a peaceful congregation of pilgrims. It comes under UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. So, held in 12 years in 4 locations. Very important. It encapsulates the science of astronomy, astrology, spirituality, etc. So, here location very important. Haridwar on the banks of Ganga in Uttarakhand. Haridwar on the banks of Ganga, Uttarakhand. Ujjain on the banks of Shipra, Madhya Pradesh. Nashik on the Godavari in Maharashtra. Prayagraj at the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and the mystical Saraswati in Uttar Pradesh. Very important. Identify the correctly matched pairs kind of questions can be expected. So, Haridwar, Ganga, Ujjain, Shipra, Nashik, Godavari, Prayagraj. Prayagraj is the new name of Uttar Pradesh. So, Allahabad, sorry, Allahabad, capital, okay. At the confluence of the Ganges, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, clear. Try to study it now itself, very, very important. See, I will share all the materials with you, bilateral exercises compilation also I will share. Those materials that I have told I will share, I will definitely share, okay. This UNO material also I can share with you, okay. Moving on further, we have Shik Moolsav. Shik Moolsav. See, it is similar to Holi and all. Okay, it is done in which state? Goa. Shik Moolsav. Shik Moolsav. So, the government has limited the Shik Moolsav parades to 3 locations only due to COVID-19 pandemic. That is why it is in the news. It is a spring festival similar to Holi. It is celebrating the rich golden harvest of paddy. Okay, in the tribal communities of Goa. Tribal communities of Goa. It depicts the historical legacy of Maratha war. Okay, it depicts the historical legacy of Maratha war. And agricultural communities including Kunbis, Gaudas, Velips celebrate the festival. All these are communities of which state? Goa. Okay, sometimes similar questions can be expected. Kunbis, Gaudas and Velips. Okay, important from Goa. These communities are tribal communities from Goa. See, important tribal communities and the respective states is important. You make a diagram or like in Google and all you will get it. You make a chart, you draw the map of India and locate the important festivals, important tribes, then GI tags, important puppetry you mark, paintings you mark. So, you have a, see the outline of the maps can be bought from outside. So, you make a map such that you will have the art and culture aspect in such a way that all the things are covered. It will be very helpful for you. Okay. Fine, Shik Moolsav. Next is deity is invoked. Okay, so the festival begins with Naman. It means the invocation of the local folk deities on the village state or village month. Instrument uses Gumat, Dol, Madal and Tashe. Okay. Okay, folk dances like Khode, Modini. Okay, that is also important. Gofa and Hugadi is also important. See, Kalbelia is a dance of which state? Rajasthan. It is otherwise known as snake dance. Okay, that was also in the news. I knew you knew it. That's why I have not included here. So that's it. Moving on further, Anubhava Mandapa. Anubhava Mandapa is associated with Basavana. Okay, very good. It's associated with Basavana. So this was also in last 2-3 years news. So Karnataka Chief Minister Yediyurappa laid the foundation stone for the new Anubhava Mandapa in Basava Kalyan. So it will be a 6-floor structure in the midst of 7.5 acres plot. It represents various principles of Basaveshwara's philosophy. It will showcase the 12th century Anubhava Mandapa established in Basaveshwara in Basava Kalyan. We will discuss about Basavana. So a new Anubhava Mandapa is going to be constructed. That is why it is in use. It comes under your cultural part. Okay, very important. And moving on further, see architecture. It will adopt the Kalyana Chalukya style of architecture. Okay, make a note of the style. Kalyana Chalukya style of architecture. Okay, and the grand structure is supported by 770 pillars believed to be 770 Sharanas, followers of Basaveshwara. Okay, and on top the structure would have a Shiva Linga placed on a large pedestal. See, these things won't be asked because it is going to be constructed, right? So, questions won't come, but you may note that Anubhava Mandapa is associated with Basavana. Okay. So, about Basavana, he is a 12th century philosopher, statesman, Kannada poet and a social reformer. He is the first Kannadiga whose honor a commemorate coin has been minted in recognition of his social reforms. Okay, first coin kind of thing. He rejected, very important, this can be asked, Basavana, this can be asked. He rejected gender and social discriminations, superstitions and rituals. Very important statement wise questions can be expected. He spread social awareness through his poet known as Vachanas. So, who is the author of Vachanas? Basavana. Very important, very important. And he introduced Anubhava Mandapa also. Very important, okay. Okay, so that's it. That's it, the important topics. So, we will brainstorm it, all the topics at once, then we will stop. Just ask the ministry, okay. So, first we discussed government schemes, second we discussed science and technology, third we discussed international relations, and finally art and culture. I will ask you questions, you have to answer. First is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. It was launched in the year 2015. Which ministry? Skill. Fine. coverage and all you should read it like rooftop solar ministry. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. International Solar Alliance headquarters Gurugram. Which all countries jointly came up with the project? India and France. India and France. Okay. Other thing you can get it. Shram Shakti portal ministry. Tribal. Okay. Next is Mission Indradhanush. Okay. Mission Indradhanush is an intensified program. Next is Saksham portal. MSME. Bhuvan portal. ISRO. Sati companion, but the name don't go with the stuff. Ministry. Okay. Parivar Pehchan Patra, which government? Local area development scheme, that you should know. Fine. Samrit program. Ministry. Samrit program. MIT. Next is PIN scheme. MSME, KVIC. Next is PM Daksh scheme. Daksh, Ministry of Social Justice. Ministry of Social Justice. Skilling. Okay, Ministry of Social Justice. Bharat Gaurav scheme. Railways. India Energy Dashboard. Niti Aayog. Shunya campaign. Okay, Niti Aayog. One Health Consortium, very important. Science and Technology. iFamilia, Interpol. eShram portal, Ministry of Labour and Employment. NutTracks, Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises. Smile scheme, Ministry of Social Justice. That's all with respect to schemes, science and technology. Calm Olivia, what is Calm Olivia? Quasi-satellite. What is quasi-satellite? It orbits the sun, but it has the same orbital speed of the earth. Okay, very important. Next is Gaganyaan mission, you know. Next is P172 plus 18. What is it? COSE. Asterix. Who did it? Asterix space drill, France. Nizar. NASA and ISRO. Crew 2 mission. SpaceX and NASA. Elon Musk SpaceX. OSIRIS-REx. NASA. Aimed at which asteroid? Bennu. Pacific. It is an international project. India developed a polarimeter. AMD-TAG. Okay. Indian Institute of Technology, Ropar. Marburg virus, you may be knowing. Next is international relation. What is the name of the strait? Kerch. Russia-Ukraine strait. And surrounding nations and all you should know. And Sevastopol, the places and all you should know. Next is India-China. As I mentioned, all the points you should know. Transatlantic alliance is between India and USA and Europe. Senkaku Islands, you know. Japan, Taiwan and China, conflict area. South China Sea, Paracel-Spratly Islands, you know. Policy of neutrality, which country? Switzerland. IPSA dialogue, you know. Project Dantak, BRO. BAO Forum, it is an annual conference held at BAO Forum. Okay. It is in same lines as that of World Economic Forum. See, important reports is again important, okay. Important reports by World Economic Forum, UNEP, all these are important. Next is Atlantic Charter, that all you know, UK and US. Next is art and culture. First is Humayun tomb, that you know. Dholavira IVC site. Gavi Gangadeshwara temple, where is it? Karnataka. Type of architecture? Vijayanagara, very good, Vijayanagara. Okay. Next is Yakshagana state, Karnataka. It is associated with Vaishnava Bhakti movement. Jagannath temple, Odisha. Type of architecture? Oriya style of architecture. Important aspect is there. What is important? It is known as White Pagoda. One important aspect, Eastern Ganga dynasty. Mekhanada Pacheri. Okay. And Kurma Pheda. Monshugu. Paper. Okay. Buddhist kind of thing. And Tol Pavakuta, you know, shadow puppetry. Kumbh Mela, you know, 4 sites. What are 4 sites? Haridwar, which river? Ganga. Ujjain, Shipra. Nashik, Prayagraj, Yamuna, Saraswati. Shiv Motsav, Goa. Anubhava Mandapa, Basavanna. Basavana's authored which poetry kind of thing? Bhajanas. Okay. So that's it. The current affairs. So you may please go through the material. I share the material in the group. Then as I said earlier, you should focus only in prelims point of view. Just know the basics, okay. Other thing we can do by basic knowledge. Be thorough with the basics. Conceptualize the topics and study. Okay, that's all.